Hey, what's going on everybody? So, today we're going to be continuing to replace the brakes. And right now I'm going to do rear brakes on a 2017 Honda Accord 4-cylinder. And I'm also going to do it with home tools without any specialty tools required. So if you'd like to know how I do it, watch the video. Okay, so the first step for me is I've put my car in, you put it in park, or an on-manual car, you put it in a gear, and also relieve, do not apply your rear brake pressure, because on a e-brake, because we're changing the rear brakes. There it is, so rear brake down. So the next step is you gotta take off your brake cylinder cap, just so when you compress the piston, the fluid has somewhere to go. Okay, so that's off, right here. I'm just gonna place it down. Now make sure that you chock your wheels, just because we're gonna lift the car up. It's gonna try to move on you. So I've chocked my front wheel on both sides. Okay, there it is. Before you jack the car up, position your jack and loosen off the lugs just a little bit, so it's easier to take off the tire once you lift the car. So now I've jacked the car up, and my jack is supporting the car over here. And I also have a jack stand supporting the car from underneath the car, which is carrying most of the load. So now I feel pretty safe working on that rear tire. Okay, I got all the nuts off. The tire's not coming off. Just forgot to mention, guys, I'm not a professional mechanic. I'm a mechanic by trade, but not a car mechanic. So all I'm doing is for those people that do their own maintenance in the garage, with a few pointers here and there. So, tire doesn't want to come off. Let's give it a nice boot. Nope. There it is. And there's the tire. I keep saying tire, which is, this is a wheel, not a tire. So the first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna remove the bracket that holds the e-brake on. This is just a e-brake cable, a bracket that holds it up. So you take this bolt out, and that will come out. Here we go. That was broken loose. Okay, that bolt just came out of here. Was holding on the bracket right there. So I'm just gonna put the bolt back in so I don't lose it. Just a couple of threads. Boom, there we go. Back in. Next, we're gonna take the caliper bolts out. There's two bolts, one on the bottom right here, one on the top right here. I've just cracked them and now they're hand tight. So I'm gonna take them out. There's the bottom bolt. And there's the top bolt. They're both the same, so no need to worry about mixing them up. There it is. Now all I'm gonna do is slide these sleeves back a little bit. Not the sleeves, but the inserts that the bolts go in. They kind of slide back a little bit under the spring pressure. And I'm gonna make sure they're off, so they're not pressing against the cylinder. The caliper. There it is. And now we can remove the caliper. Just a little wiggle. There it is. Caliper is off. Don't hang the caliper up on its hose. Position it in a way so the hose is not under tension. So what I've done here, guys, is I've used a little bungee cord right here, attached it to a shock spring, and hooked it up to the caliper, so the caliper is not hanging on a brake line. Okay. Make sure that your inserts move nice and freely, meaning they have good lubrication. We got a good spring back. There we go. Bottom one's perfect. Top one's really good as well. So if they are getting stuck for you guys or anything like that, not a big deal. Just pull these rubber sleeves back right here. Take out these little inserts metal inserts that are like this big, and just lubricate them, put them back in. They're gonna be good as new. This is also a good time to check your rotors, how they look. So what I do is I run my finger nail up on it and see if there's any grooves. So now this one is a little bit, it's got a little bit of a groove right here. I'm still gonna use this rotor just because this is only 60,000 kilometers on this vehicle, so this is gonna be fine. Hopefully this will work out good, and I'll see you on the next brake change. But other than that, my rotor looks pretty good. So next we're just gonna pop this little retaining clip out. All it does, it just pulls out of 2 holes on the bottom. Boom. That's it, it's out. Put that over here for now. Next step, remove the old pads. So now mine are pretty stuck, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver and just pry them off a little bit. So I'm going to insert it in, as you see I've already done a little bit. And put that in and just pry against the rotor on a pad. There it is. Pad should come out. And that's not the case. Pry just a little bit more on the bottom here. There they are, and oh my god, this brake pad is gone. My other side looks pretty good, or looked a lot better than this. This is gone. 60,000 kilometers, guys, 65. So replace your brakes a little bit sooner. This is why I'm doing this. Finally, so I had to use quite a bit of force to get this aft pad out. There it goes. Yeah, as you can see, I was using a screwdriver to pry it off. So yeah, basically insert the screwdriver at the top and at the bottom and pry against the rotor slowly, and then you get it out. So the next step is getting these little retainer clips out, and all you gotta do is basically just pry them down with your finger with a screwdriver and they'll come out. All they do is they hold your brake pads in place. The only reason I'm replacing these is because I got the new ones. If you guys don't have the new ones, you can definitely reuse these old ones. Just clean them up, use a little bit of brake cleaner and a brush to brush all that stuff off of there, all the dirt and contaminants. So I'm gonna replace these just because I have the new ones. And let's pry this up. And there she goes. She's out. A little bit of brake cleaner to clean up the mating surfaces where those little clips sit in. Wear glasses, guys, because this stuff gets in your eyes, same as brake dust and all this other stuff. So all I'm going to use is a small metal brush and a toothbrush to clean up little grooves where the retaining clips go in, right in here. Now it's time to install the new clips. Here we go, nice and new. Let's go and top first. Just slide it in and push up. There it is, sitting in nicely. And the bottom one, same concept. Slide it in and push down. Here we go. They're in. So we're ready to install the new brake pads. But the next thing we have to do is compress the cylinder, because the new pads are quite a bit bigger, wider than the old pads. They won't, the cylinder, the caliper won't fit unless you compress the cylinder right here. And I will show you a way to do that without any special tools in just a second. So first things first, I'm gonna clean up that rubber seal. This rubber seal right here that goes all around the piston, because it's all dirty and gunky and it's clinging onto that cylinder. So I'm gonna use some WD-40 spray on there and use a brush to clean that off, and also a very small screwdriver just to go into the seal a little bit and clean all the gunk out. I'll show you that in 1 second. So let's spray some WD-40 on the rubber seal of the piston. There it is. Let it soak in a little bit. And then we're gonna use this brush right here to clean up the seal. So now that it's all cleaned up with a toothbrush, I'm gonna take a very small Phillips screwdriver. I use this to disassemble the phone if I ever need to change the screen or something. You can use anything else like a toothpick, I don't know, a zip tie, whatever. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go inside that seal right here, just a little bit. Don't poke it too much, and just clean up the gunk out of there if there's anything there, right? And same on the outside right here. I'm just gonna go in lightly and try to get the gunk out of there, right? I'm gonna do that all around. Okay, so once this is all cleaned up, and be careful with when you're poking that seal, don't break it, just go light. And then now the next thing is compressing the cylinder. So this car has got, I don't know if a lot of cars have these or not, but it's got this a compression cylinder that looks like a cross, right? So there's a special tool that's required for this, but I'll show you guys what I use without any special tools to get the cylinder in. Now you can't just push the cylinder in because doesn't work like that. You have to screw it in. That's why the tool fits right on there, and you screw it in. So I'll show you what I use. So all you need to put that cylinder back in and install it on your new brake pads is a 1/4 inch drive. Sorry, not a 1/4 inch, a 3/8 drive, guys. That's all you need to compress that cylinder. A ratchet with a 3/8 drive. I'll show you how that's done in 1 second. So as you can see, this is my setup right here. I've got my ratchet and a 1/4 inch drive, and I've set that right in the center of that cross. And all I'm gonna do is push a little bit and turn it clockwise. Alright, here we go. This is as best as I could get my phone in here, guys, so I'm sorry for the quality. My phone sucks, but here's the piston. That's your seal. This is my 1/4 inch drive going in, and all I'm gonna do is push on it a little bit and twist, and watch. The cylinder is going in slowly. And the seal, since we cleaned it up nicely, is not moving at all. So all you gotta do is push a little bit and turn. Push and turn. Push and turn. Push and turn. Push and turn. And we're almost there. Works like a charm. No special tools required here. There we go. All the way in. Now, as you can see, the piston's fully compressed, and our seal looks beautiful because we cleaned it up and it hasn't twisted at all. So if it starts twisting, guys, the seal, clean it up a little bit more and push and turn slowly so the seal has time to adjust to your movements if the seal twists on you when you turn it. Mine worked out pretty well. Okay, next step is going to be installing the new pads. Here we are. Old, new, new, old. Let's compare them. They look very good to me. So, new pad, old pad. As you can see, there's quite a bit of a difference on how much material is left. And this one is gonna blow your mind. Check this out. It's almost nothing left on this other pad. Almost nothing left on it. I don't think I've ever driven a brakes this bad. Actually, you shouldn't do this. You should definitely replace the brakes before this. Let's go. The next step is going to be lubing the brake pads a little bit. I'll show you where I put the grease. And this is just a little pack of brake grease that came with it. So when we're lubing the brake pads, do not put anything on the surface here. This is your braking surface. If you put any lube on here, your brakes are going to be ineffective. What you're lubing is just points that make contact, the attachment points, which are right here and right there pretty much. So I'm gonna lube it up right here a little bit, also gonna lube it up right here and a little bit on the back. Sorry if I'm off the camera here, but that's all I'm doing. I'm lubing it up, just these little spots. And same on the bottom piece. Gonna lube it up right here. Got some on the pad. Rub that right off. Okay, and a little bit on here and on the mating surface over here. Okay, looks good. Let's put it in. So all you gotta do is align the pad with the slots, the bottom slot and the top slot over there, and just slide the pad right in. Should go in no problems. There she goes, right against the rotor. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with the front pad here. We're gonna lube it first and put it in. Okay, the front pad is all, the outboard pad is all lubed up. Time to put it in. Yeah. Okay. There she is. As easy as that, guys. That's it. 2 new pads in. Next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna install these little retainer clips. As you can see, there's just 2 little holes, one here and one there. And these clips go in here. And what they do is most likely keep pressure on your pads towards your caliper. Not sure why they're required. If anybody knows, let me know. I'm not gonna put these in right now because my pads are gonna fly out. So I'm just gonna leave that for later. Now that the pads are in, it's time to put in the caliper. So I unhooked it from my little bungee cord right there. And all I'm gonna do is just slide it on. Should have no problems with it. There she is, just fiddling with it a little bit. Moving this little, the bottom and the top inserts out of the way. And there goes the caliper. Right back onto the spot, one-handed. So if you're doing this two-handed, it's gonna be even easier. Okay, it's time to put the bolts back in. Forgot to mention something, guys. So the clips are in, just put them in, and make sure when you put your cylinder in that it so you see how the caliper is oriented right now, that it's positioned horizontal right there, just like that, because there's a little spot on the other side of the aft pad that goes right in that slot of that cross. Okay, so just position it horizontally, just like that. Guys, if you run in a situation where you tighten the bolt up and this sleeve right here is spinning on you, you can either grab a wrench, like 17mm, I guess, right here, and hold it and put the bolt in, or what you can do is with one hand you tighten the bolt, and with the other hand you wiggle the caliper, and the bolt should go in nice and smooth. Okay, cool. So both bolts are in, the bottom and the top. Now it's time to tighten them up. So all of these have torque specs. I don't torque my bolts, I just tighten them well enough. But if you guys are, then grab yourself a torque wrench and then find out the specs for torque from the manufacturer, and you can torque these bolts to the spec. I just give them a nice and tight. Alright, here we go. Nice and tight. New brake pads in. Okay, that's it. That's it, guys. So this is how you do a brake change on a 2017 Honda Accord 4-cylinder. Rear brakes without any special tools. Very minimal. Now the next step is going to be putting the tire back on, lowering the car off the jacks. Then you're going to close your brake reservoir. Close and lock it. I'm not going to do that because I still got more brakes to do. And that's it. Then go for a test drive. So if you guys like to know what tools I used for this job, let me know, and I'll give you a description of what tools I've used. If not, if you want to see more of videos like this, let me know as well, if you're interested. That's it. Take care.